Welcome to Martial Arts Musings with your host, Dwight. Welcome to Martial Arts Musings. This is your host, Dwight. Today we're going to talk about kind of the introduction of this podcast and to give you a little bit of information on my background. I've been training in Muay Thai, boxing, and Savate at MKG Seattle, obviously here in Seattle, under Sifu Andy Wilson. I've been doing it for over 5 years now and just absolutely love it. Currently hold a ranking of blue glove in Savate, and our school is just now developing an armband solution to ranking and similar to glove levels in Savate or the belt levels in any of the Japanese martial arts. I've also attended seminars by Professor Salem Azli, obviously teaches Savate, and Ajahn Master Chai Saritsu, who's the Kickboxing Association president. To give you more of a background, I started getting interested in martial arts at a fairly young age, watching all these Jackie Chan movies, Bruce Lee movies, just got me very, very excited about martial arts. But unfortunately, I grew up in a very small town, and for whatever reason, the traditional martial arts did not really suit me very well. I thought they were too rigid from the outside in. I didn't go and try and find out more about them. I was just like, I don't want to join karate. I don't want to join taekwondo. There was very little offered in my small town. And so I didn't really start martial arts until I moved here to Seattle about 5 years ago, when I had the opportunity and found the opportunity in Muay Thai kickboxing. Now, in 2004, I'd gone to Thailand and witnessed kickboxing matches and just absolutely fell in love with the art. It's just something so different. And this was before all the MMA stuff really cropped up here in the United States. Obviously there was a lot of the old school cage matches, but those were sloppy and not very good. MMA has definitely made a better appearance than those ones. But initially, to get back on track, I joined martial arts to initially just keep in shape, and it was something interesting. I was very bored with my normal gym membership, like going and lifting weights was very boring to me. Sitting on a treadmill was very boring to me. So I needed something that would help me make a lifestyle change, something that I can incorporate into my life on a daily basis. And so as a working professional, I found a gym, MKG, that helped me incorporate that into my lifestyle, offering, classes at 7 p.m. at night and around, the normal 9 to 5 work hours, which many professionals have, or even just other people in general have to work. So that's kind of my background. Now let's talk about a little bit about the purpose of this podcast. I want to use this as an exercise to promote and explore various martial arts. Obviously, there's a ton out there, and I'd like to go through Japanese martial arts, Southeast Asian martial arts, any martial arts, even like to do some exploration into some of the more of the European martial arts. Obviously, they're not as well advertised as a lot of the Asian martial arts, so I want to delve all the martial arts that are offered around the world and hopefully identify places where you can find opportunities to join them, or associations to join them, or clubs, or any mixture of that. So what I want to do, I want to interview practitioners of different arts, students of different arts, instructors of different arts, and even people that are just interested in martial arts. So there's one university here in the U.S. that really concentrates in a degree in martial arts. That's Indiana University, which if I would have known that 12 years ago when I first went to college, then, I might have been out there in Indiana. Unfortunately, knew no such thing way back then. On top of promoting various martial arts, I also want to promote health and fitness. Obviously, this venue will help me explore different areas that can help health. Martial arts has always been a great pursuer of health benefits mental and physical. So I want to explore some of that and, really promote that. It's unfortunate in the United States that such high obesity rates and that our fitness levels are incredibly terrible. But if we can get more people into it, then I'll help out as best as I can. Those are the kind of the three major aspects that I want to promote with this and kind of the purpose of this podcast. But, I also want to look at actual martial arts fights. So I want to review, boxing matches, mixed martial arts matches, wushu demonstration competitions, promote anything and everything martial arts. So if I hear about it, I'll try to promote the heck out of it on this podcast. And so hopefully that'll present some opportunities that are harder to find than what you normally hear. So that's why I want to bring in a lot of the practitioners and students and instructors. Maybe they know about certain demonstrations, seminars that I do not know about. So it's always a good way to find some of those niche areas that you don't normally hear through Google or something of that nature. Not only review boxing matches, martial arts matches, but I also want to review, books on martial arts. I want to review martial arts videos and movies, some fun cultural aspects of movies is one of the main reasons why I got attracted to martial arts in the first place. It's that cultural aspect of, I want to be like Bruce Lee type of mentality, which is just, it's funny because how many people are really going to attain that, but it's good and fun kind of pursuit. And so I really want to strive to make that a part of my life and help people find what works for them in their lifestyle, and hopefully that is martial arts. So the first and foremost, to kind of just dive right in our first topic of this martial arts musings, the basic beginners, how do you get started? How do you make this a lifestyle change? How do you incorporate martial arts into your daily life? So Forbes magazine states that only 8% of people in the U.S. achieve their New Year's resolutions. That is less than 10% of this country. That is crazy. And generally, most New Year's resolutions resolve around fitness and weight loss. Now, to get motivated for something like this, the American Psychology Association suggests that when you feel motivated to set goals for yourself, you need time and support. Your goals aren't magically going to happen overnight. And I think that's where a lot of people fail when they make, just the resolutions or hop on fad diets. When you actually incorporate something into your lifestyle, then that's when you make that long-term commitment, that long-term change about yourself. If you want to lose weight, you can't just be like, well, I'm just going to eat healthy. Well, what does that really mean? That's a statement. That's not really a goal. The APA suggests there are 5 tips and ways to help you reach your goals. Number 1, make a plan that will fit in your daily schedule. This comes with that making a change to your daily life. So, for instance, I work out a minimum of 3 days a week at the gym. So I take a minimum of 3 1-hour classes a week. And then I also, 5 days out of the week, eat oatmeal for breakfast. So instead of grabbing that breakfast sandwich, grabbing that piles of bacon, piles of eggs, I go for the oatmeal whether I really want to or not. To meet one goal over another, that's one of the decisions I've made. And so the next tip that the American Psychology Association suggests is start with small, realistic goals. Can you completely cut out something? Probably not. Now, if you do the 80-20 rule, if you can cut out 80%, you're making a pretty good lifestyle change. The other 20%, you have to at least indulge a little bit as far as concerned. It's just easier to do than going completely to nothing. Unless you have to drastically do that, like, have a heart attack or you have something of that nature that really, really prevents you to do a 100% flip. But for most people, you want to do the 80-20. So maybe during the week you say, hey, I'm going to eat 2,000 calories. There's going to be at least 2 pieces of fruit, 3 servings of vegetables each day, something like that, as far as, your diet goals. They say change one behavior at a time. You don't want to say, well, I'm going to change my entire exercise, my entire diet. You want to, make small steps, because then you're going to stick with them better. The 4th tip is involve a buddy. The more support you get, the more likely you are to continue doing what you're doing. If you want someone to partner up with you or help you out with certain things, it's always good, because they'll keep you motivated, they'll keep you on track to help you accomplish your goals. And the 5th one is don't be afraid to ask for support. That goes back to kind of involving a buddy, but this is getting support from your friends, your family, help you accomplish your goals and to maintain this lifestyle. Hopefully, you take this with a grain of salt. Obviously, these are tips, and these are just kind of guidelines to help you try to figure out what you want to do and how to improve your life. So after you've set up these lifestyle changes and goals, how do you go about choosing a martial arts school? As part of your lifestyle change, choose something close to where you live or work. Obviously, if you can find a reason to not go, whether it's, distance or time, that there is not enough, time in the day, or they cannot find time, and you really have to make time. And the less reasons you have not to go gives you more reasons to go. So if you live, close to a gym, then I believe it is easier to go, because you're not going to be like, oh, I have to sit in traffic, or, I don't have enough time. And whether you have a family or not, there's lots of externalities that you have to consider when, choosing a martial arts, choosing a school, and choosing a time to do all this. The longer it takes for you to get to a destination definitely makes it harder. Another thing you want to consider when choosing a school, look at the costs. Obviously, this holds a lot of people back from martial arts, in my opinions, because compared to your typical gym, the franchises out there, paying maybe $20 to $50 for a monthly membership at any of those. Most martial arts clubs, from what I've seen just doing my own independent research, they typically range from $50 to $200 per month. And that's not including uniforms, equipment. That's just for attending the school. Most times, some have, packages of $450, you get a uniform, and then it's like a $100 fee or something of that nature. But so you definitely have to take costs into consideration. Obviously, it's spending upwards of $1,000 a year on health and fitness is, a lot of money. But benefits, I think, are definitely worth it, especially if it's something that you really enjoy and you just make it part of your lifestyle. Number 3, find a school with similar philosophies. For example, my gym, it caters to kind of a lighter atmosphere. I don't have to, wear traditional garb. I can just wear normal gym clothes. Students there are full-time professionals, generally work 9 to 5, and then they come and work out. And then it promotes a lot of the other normal philosophies of discipline, health, respect. And I'm not trying to downplay those, but just saying, you want to find a school that really you can incorporate into your life, that meets your lifestyle, which is easier for you just to incorporate. If it gets too difficult, too time-consuming, too costly, obviously a lot of people are going to drop off and not do it. So find, a school with similar philosophies. For example, in Muay Thai, the typical class, you burn 700 to 800 calories each workout. And that's huge amount. Obviously, that fit into one of my first goals of staying in shape, losing weight. Number 4, try out different schools. If you find a few that you like, many of the clubs and schools have drop-in fees for, $10, $15, or they'll let you attend a free one, because I think you really want to find something you'd be interested in. To do that, I think you really got to do your homework or your due diligence. And this goes back to the finding your philosophies. if you want to fight, if you want to become a fighter, look at a gym that's specific to fighting. So if you want to be a boxer, find, a gym that promotes boxers, goes through the amateur routes. If you want to work on form or artistry, find a more traditional martial arts school. If you want to practice self-defense, look at some that focus more on the practical side rather than the art side or the sports side. I mean, obviously, I chose more of the sports side. Obviously, I'm concentrating on boxing, kickboxing, and savate, because those are all ring sports that you can find all over the world. I'm more of the sports mentality because my philosophy is I don't really hurt people. But, my main reason is to sport and for fun and to lose weight. And so that's kind of my philosophy. Hopefully this podcast, we're going to explore all these different areas, from fighting, from form and artistry, to philosophies, to incorporation of religion. I mean, I'm not trying to force this, but I just want to present what all these different martial arts offers. I want to get down in deep in the Shaolin martial arts. There's been lots of books written, and so I want to go through a lot of these and explore a lot of these, and hopefully you'll enjoy all this from these nice podcasts that I put together. So with that, this is going to be the end of episode 1. I hope you enjoyed listening. Hopefully you'll start downloading this podcast. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for listening to Martial Arts Musings. Please tune in next week for another martial arts episode. Latest.